Hi guys, welcome to Becodewala. I welcome you to my new amazing project, and in this project we are going to build a notes application using MERN. So here you can see on the my browser, here is the dashboard page where you can see the navbar with the logo and the navbar title, and on the right hand side you can see that welcome message and with the email and the sign out button. When you click on sign out button, it will ask for you to sign out or not. Then here you have a two boxes. Here you can write the title of your notes and the description of your notes. So when you let's type and create some notes, so like learning coding, and you can write the description like Munstack Munstack notes app. So you can click on create and it will create, and you can see that the notification here, the pop-up message, note created successfully. So we are going to use react.js for this, and here you can see that the notes has been created, and you can see that the a beautiful div box has been created. And here is the title, here is the description, and here is the date and the time, that day and time we have created these notes, right? Then here we have edit button and delete button. So let's edit this. So here let me add v code wala. So I have edited this, and let me update. So you can see that note updated successfully message on the right corner, right? And suppose I want to delete this note. So when I click on delete, it will ask, are you sure want to delete this note? So yes. Okay, so when you click on OK, it will say note deleted successfully, right? And not only this, let's me sign out. So click on OK and log out successfully. You can see that, and here we have a sign in page and the sign up page, but here we are using the different method for the sign in and sign up. So like in the previous tutorial we have created our to do application, right? And in this we have used password, right? Email and password, but we don't know the email that you have entered is correct or not, right? You maybe entered the wrong email and you are creating your notes here, but for the security purpose, so you can verify the email that user has entered the correct email or not. So that we have created this type of authentication method. So this is the sign up page where you have to enter your name, then date of birth. So your date of birth between 13, more than 13 years, and below 120 years. So when I click on the like less than like 13 years, so we have added validation also. See, the full name is required. So let me write my full name like Ika Kumar, and here it is asking email is required. So let me write the email becodewala@gmail.com. So when we write the email, it will click on the see get OTP, but it is saying age must be 13 to 120 years. So let me increase the age. So I will increase the age and I will try to log in. So click on get OTP. So it will send the OTP to the entered email. We have seen that we received a OTP, welcome to HD Notes, verify your email, and here is your verification code, right? Expired in 10 minutes. So you can see that the message. So let's go and type the OTP. So I pasted the OTP. So you can see that the message also we have sent verification code to your email, that this is the email that we have entered, right? Let's click on sign up, and we have sign up successfully. So you can log out, and again suppose you want to log in, you don't have to enter password, you have to verify your email again with your OTP. So enter OTP to verify your email. So let me log in again. So this is the login email ID. So click on send OTP and it will send OTP to my Gmail. Here is the OTP that we got, right? Now it is not saying welcome because we have already, when you sign up for the first time, then that time it will say welcome message, but when you log in again it will not say like welcome. So here it will say verify your code, like sign in verification, right? Not verify your email, sign in verification, because we have already verified your email. Just to sign in we have to enter this OTP code. So let me enter the OTP code, and you can check this box also, no need to check if you want, and click on sign in. So it will sign in successfully, and here you can create a note like Java script and learning with Becodewala, and click on create note. So note created successfully, and you can see that the title, description, the date, time, and the edit and delete button, and here you can see that welcome with your name and your email and sign out. So when we click on the like sign out, I want to show you, suppose you have entered the wrong email, so be@gmail.com. So this is the email not registered in your database, so it will say no account found with this email, right? If you try to enter some random password OTP, so it will say invalid or expired OTP, right? So we have added proper validation for our Notes application. So let's start writing code for our Notes application using MERN stack. So here we have created a Notes MERN folder, right, with the name Notes MERN, and in this we have created a two folder, frontend and backend. We will write for frontend and backend code in a separate folder, and we will connect together, right? So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe us. So let me go with our VS Code editor. So here I have created a backend folder. That backend folder that we have imported, this is the backend folder. One folder we have created the backend folder, and this backend folder I have imported in my Visual Studio Code editor, right? So here we have to set up our backend configuration. So how you are going to set up our backend? So in the backend we are going to use TypeScript. So in the last project, like here we have used like JavaScript in backend and TypeScript in frontend, but now we are going to use TypeScript in both frontend and backend. So if you don't watch this previous video, you can go and watch and take a reference, it will be very helpful. I have explained everything in very detail, so you can go and watch. So this application we are going to build in this tutorial. So we'll first set up our project. So how we are going to set up? So first of all we'll write npm init -y. So this will create a package.json where all our like all the packages will be stored here, right? Here it is the default type common.js, but we are going to use type module and some license keywords and some scripts. So we are going to write our scripts also. Then the main we are going to change, so we can change all this package.json according to our project. So let's first of all install the like TypeScript and the tsx, right? So it will create node modules where we are going to install the TypeScript. We are going to use TypeScript, and for asset dev dependency you can see that hyphen save hyphen dev. So we are going to use as a dev dependency TypeScript and the tsx, right? So both compiler and the TypeScript, and After that we are going to use like some packages like express to create our REST API. Then we are going to use mongoose for our database, then .env for the access of the environment variables that we need in our project. Then we are going to use course. So course we are going to use for the like suppose we have a data on our server, but we want this data should be accessed to a particular URL like localhost 5173 or like your production URL. So with the course configuration we can allow your data to the other side. So here we are going to use helmet and for the protection of our server, and here Becodewala.js and for the crypting of like your password, and here we can use cookie parser for the parsing of the cookies coming on the like from the front end, and the JSON web token for the generating token when the user will log in, and in that token we will store the user data and we will use that token to verify on the different routes. Here we are going to use express rate limit. So suppose user is hitting our API multiple times, so it can increase the cost for your server. So we will set the limit so that user will not like cost our API, right? Here we are using node mailer, like when the user will sign in, the OTP will be sent to the user email ID so that the user will be verified. So we have installed this all these things. Now we have to install the types. So types for the bcrypt.js, we are going to use typescript, right? So I'm going to install like as a dev dependency. We are going to install all these types, like type for the express, type for the node, type for the bcrypt, type for the cookie parser, type for the course. So all this, so we are going to use typescript, so that we are going to use all these things. Then we don't have tsconfig.json, we are using typescript. So how to create tsconfig.json, right? npx tsc hyphen hyphen init. So here you can see that it will create a default all these things. So but I have already have it configured, so I'll go and paste. So this is the typescript.json that I am going to use. So you will find all the source code on my GitHub. You can go and give a star on my GitHub repo and follow me on GitHub. So now we will like we'll set up our package.json. So we can write like here hd nodes server, the name you can change, right? We can write the description and the type should be module. So let me write type should be module. Here we can remove the type from here, right? And after writing type should be module, let me, yeah. So here we are writing like in the main, this is the index.js file that will create on the production when we push our code on our like on the deployment. So that time the dist file will be created during npm run build, and in that dist folder our index.js will be there. Our typescript code will be compiled to javascript, right? So we are going to use some script that I have written already, so I will paste it here. So this is the script to run our like server like tsx watch. So we no need node-mon. This is the power of TypeScript. We can watch our all the changes in the index.ts file that will create here in our src folder. And the to build our we are going to use tss, so it will build our project and it will compile our TypeScript in the javascript. And this is the another like script for the running for your TypeScript, and we have defined the lint for our TypeScript. Then After that, here keywords, author, I think no need of this. So we have set up our name, version, description, main folder. Then we have written the types script for our running building our projects. Then we have a depth dependency, all this depth dependency that we are going to use, and the like dependency, right? So we have set up our project, right, with the typescript, tsx, node mailer, node json web token, express, course, cookie parser, and the Becodewala.js. Now let me clear my terminal, and after this what we have to do? So we have to create a .env and .ignore, so that we will create later. So I'll close all these things, and I'll create a src folder first of all, and in this src folder all our folders will be there. So what are the folders? It should be there like controller, middleware. We'll write all the code in that. So we'll write controllers, right? Then we can write middlewares. Then we can write middlewares. Then we can write models, and another folder we can write routes, and for utilities some utilities functions, utils utils. So routes, utils, model, middleware, controller, and in this we have to create a new file app.ts, and another file, we can create another file like index.ts. We are going to create our backend server in a very secure manner and like a professional, so don't worry. So we have created all our folders, and we have set it our like backend, and the env and the .git ignore will write it later. So as of now we can start with our coding part. So here when we user will log in, right, let me sign out first. So here when the user is login for the first time, it has a name, date of birth, and the email, right? So we need all these fields, right? So we can define in the user model, right? So we can create user.ts, user.ts. So we'll first write the models, so how your data should be structured. So in the user model.ts we are going to import first of all mongoose. So we are going to store all this data in our mongoose, right? So let me import the mongoose and schema, no, and not model we are going to use document. So I'm going to tell you why we are going to use. So all these things I'm going to import from mongoose. So mongoose, we are going to import mongoose from mongoose schema and a document. So why we are going to use schema? So schema is like the structure of your document, so how your document should be there in our mongodb database, right? So there we have used our schema, right? And here we are going to use the document. So document a typescript interface, so provided by the mongoose, that represent the mongodb document, right? So let me create a interface. My AI assistant is recommending, right? So let me use this. So export interface, let me export interface. This is the interface name that you can write any name, I user or any name here, it depend on you, right? export in we are going to export this interface. This is the interface, the type we are going to create, and here the extend document. So this is the type provided by the mongoose, right? This is a type provided by the mongoose for the document, right? So that's why we are using this extend document, and we click on this. You can see the document, that is, this is the typescript document that is provided by the mongoose. In this, what we are going to write, so in our document, what are the things should be there? In our document, I want like full name, email, date of birth, created at, right? And the id will be created automatically, right, when the your data will be created. So we have to create document for the full name, email, date of birth, and created at. So we can write full name and type of string. Then we can write full name, you can write the n should be capital, can write so that it should be proper. Full name, email string, then date of birth, type date, so we are going to store date of birth. Then we can write created at, so it should be also type of date, right? So these are the four things we need on a document. So when the user will sign up, it will ask for the name, full name, email, and date of birth, and the created date, so when this user has been created, right? So we are going to show this typo in our mongodb document, right? Now we are going to create our schema. So we can create const user schema, new schema, and type will be user, I user. So in previous, when we are creating our schema in our like JavaScript, when we use JavaScript, right, in our creating our backend, that time we have used like new mongoose, not the schema. But in the TypeScript, we are going to use new schema, right? Here before in the JavaScript we use new mongoose, right, to create our mongoose schema, right? So we are not using mongoose word, right? Just we are writing schema, and the schema will be created, and we have a type for the schema. This is the type that we have created right now, right? So this is the type that we have provided to our schema. So schema has a full name, email, date of birth, and created a, right? So here the schema structure, so like full name, so let me show you. So here I have the user has a full name, and the full name, it should be the type of string, so it type should be string. The full name that user has entered, that should be string, and the required true, and means you can't keep the this. Suppose, see, full name is required, this message you can't make it empty, right? It should be filled, right? So full name is required, and trim true, so trim true, like suppose you enter some space, right? So it will trim that multiple spaces. Suppose this is the multiple space that we get, so it will trim that space, right? So that's why we are using trim true, and minimum and maximum length. So these are the validation that we are creating, right? This is the validation that type should be string, required true, trim true, minimum length is 2, the length. So let me write one name. So here the full name must be at least 2 characters, right? So you can see that the full name must be at least 2 characters. This is the message that we want to show the user, that you have should have at least 2 minimum length of your full name, right? And maximum length is 50. So this is the validation that we writing on the backend side when the user is sign up, right, or sign in, right. So here we can write another field. So for the another field we can define the similarly. For the email, type should be string, email required true, unique true. So unique true means email id should be unique, right, it should not be duplicate. Suppose I have a Becodewala at the rate gmail.com, it should be has to me, not you, right. So it should be unique, right. So lowercase true, so that suppose user has entered the uppercase, so it does not match in, suppose in the database or something happen either like in matching error. So that's why we are using lowercase, so that it should be not like case sensitive, right. So that's why we are using lowercase and trim true and the match. So this is the match validation, means this is the regular expression that you can go and search on Google. You'll find this regular expression for the validation of the email in the backend. So it will give you this regular expression, you can copy and paste here, and here the message. So whenever we are creating this type validation like minimum to length, and we are writing a message also, so it should be in array, right. So we are writing in a array brackets, square brackets. Second, we are validating our like input fields. Now for the date of birth, so let me write for the date of birth. Date of birth, so in date of birth we can write type date, right. Then we can write required true, date of birth is required, right. Then we can write validate, so we can validate this date of birth. So suppose we have written that date of birth should be in the between 13 years to 120 years, right. So how we are going to create, so we will create a validator function, right. So and it will take the value as a date. So when the user will enter the date, that value should be type of date, right. So we are defining the typescript also, not only passing the parameter, we are defining the type also, because we are using typescript. Then we'll find the today date. So how to find the today date, new date object, right. Then and how we are going to calculate the age, that user is greater than 13 or equal to 13, it should not be less than. So how we are going to get that, so const age equal to today dot get full year, means today suppose it is 2025 and the value that user has entered is 2010, right. So we'll get the full year, so to full year means 2010, right. So it when we are getting the value, it has a day, month, year. So we are going to get the year part. So suppose this is the 2010, and now the today date means the today date is, you can see that the 7th of August, so 2025. So we have to get the full year 2025. So today dot get full year, so it will get the 2025 minus value that the user has entered, right. The date will get that full year from the user entered value, like 2025 minus 2010, so it will be 15 years, right. And we have calculated the age like this, right, that user has entered the correct age. And if a user has entered the correct age, so we can write age will return 13 and age 20. So age must be between 13 and 120. So this is the validation, age should be greater than equal to 13 and less than equal to 120, right. And we can write the message also. So message age must be less between, like age must be between 13 and 120, right. So why it is showing error. So date get full year. So here we have missed the comma, right? So we suppose it is not between 13 and 120, it will say that it should be between 13 to 120 year. See here, suppose let me enter the today date. So age must be 13 to 120 year. See the validation message, right? So this is the proper professional way of writing the code in the backend, right? So let me create another field. So we have created our full name, email, date of birth. Now we have to write the created at. So in the created at, you can see that like in this date of birth we are using the date, not the timing, but in the created at we are storing our date and timing also, right? So to get that, we will write created at, and in this type should be date, right? And here we are going to use by default date dot now. So date dot now, it will not only create like get the value of like today date, it will also take the time also. So that's why you're using date dot now, and before we are to get only the date, we are going to use new dot date, right? So and we are storing the year only, right? Year and date and month, right? That the user has entered, right? And at what time we have created, right? So to get that time also, we are going to use date dot now. So now the at the point of time when the user has created this like data, that sign up data, right? So then we can write another important concept, user schema. Like when the I'm searching for like the this email has exist, right, or not on the, let me go and sign in. Suppose we are writing some email, right? How should like our it is validating this email does not exist, right? Suppose b, see no account found at this email, right? So how we are going to like check, it is checking in our database, so we can make our like database searching faster, right? So to make our database searching faster, we can use user schema dot index, right? And here we can pass to the email, because we are searching with the email, right, in our database, that it is the valid user or not, right? If the email will exist on a database, then we will send the OTP to the email, right? So while signing, we are searching for the user, that user is existing in our database, it the user has already signed up or not. So for that we are using email, right? One for the increasing the search performance better, right? So it will make the lookup better, right, in our mongodb database. And here we can export. So export default and mongoose.model. So we are creating our model here, right? So and we are exporting it out also, export default our model. So this is the model, that the user model we are creating with this user schema. This is the user schema that we have defined. This is the user schema that we have defined with this name user model, right? And type of model is this is the document model, right? I use that, this is the document, this is the document model, and for this user type, right? So we are defining the type also. This is the way to create our model, and this is the type, and this is the name of the user model with this schema. That is schema that we created, like date of birth should be like this, and the full name should be like this, right? Now let's create our model for our notes. So we'll create notes.ts, make it node capital N, so it should be proper. So in our notes app model, we have to create similarly that like we have created in our user model. So we are going to import mongoose document and schema from the mongoose. So mongoose we are importing for the creating our model. Document is for the type interface for our mongoose document, that the data that we stored here in this notes, and the schema for the structure to create how our fields should be in our the document should be there, right? So after that we have to create an interface inode. So in this and the we have to pass the interface type. This is the document, this is the type of the document that we are provided by the mongoose for the typescript for this interface, that the type we are creating for our document, right? Because we are using TypeScript, right? And we are exporting also. So our here you can see that in our notes we have a title and the description. So title and content, so that content we have to write, and both type of should be string. Then we have to define the types for our created and updated at. So when our nodes is updating or creating, you can see that we have a two fields. This at this time our node has been created, and at this time our node has been updated, right? So we are storing both. But here who is creating the nodes? So each this is the node id. So this node id has this title and content data, but who is creating this node? This user has created this node. So when you sign up, right, you have a unique user id, right? So this with this id, this is the id of this user, right? And this is the id of this user. So this nodes has been created by this user, right? And this user has this id, right? And this id contains the user information. So this node is created by this user, right? So we have to add one more field here, user id, mongoose types dot types dot object id. This is the type of the id, this is the id in our mongoose, right? Object id. So this is the how we are defining our type for that object id, mongoose dot types dot object id, right? So we have defined the interface. Now we have to create our schema. Cons node schema equal to, here we can write the new schema, right? So we are going to create a new schema using typescript, right? And we have passed the interface. This is the interface that we have created right now. Now it has a title, right? It has a title. So I'm going to show you, like here the title field, right? This title field of type string required true means it should be required. So suppose I have click on create a node, so please fill all this field, right? So this field should be required. So here it is showing that this field is required and trim true, so it will remove the extra spaces, and maximum length 100 character. So this title has should have maximum 100 character. So if you write more than 100 it will show an error, right? So similarly we can create the type for our content. So content should have also a type of string. Required true means node content is required, and node content must less than 5000 characters. So here we are adding 5000 characters. So maximum length should be, like, we can write the 5000, right? So you can customize according to your needs, and here user id. So here I am going to use user id, and in this user id is type of mongoose.types.object id, right? And required true, user id is required, right? And ref user. So why we are using ref user? So because it is reference to this user model. So when we are creating our model, we pass this name user, right? This is the name, right, of our model, right? So it is referring to that model, right? So that's why we are using ref. It will take the reference of that user model. So from that user model it will take this id, right? When the nodes will be created, so which user has created this node, right? And after that, here why it is showing error, user id. So type required. So let me fix this. What is showing user id error, object string. So here we have to write not mongoose, here we have to write schema dot types dot. So here we are using mongoose. You know why? Because here this is the document, right? But here is the schema. In the schema we are defining the type, right? So that's why we have to write the schema dot types dot object id, because we are creating here schema. This is the document, so we are using mongoose types dot object id, right? And then here we can pass the created at updated at. So here you can see that created at updated at field, but we have to write two times created at updated at. So there is another thing provided by the mongoose schema is timestamp true. So we have to write out of this curly braces, right? So this is the second parameter that we pass. Instead of this field we pass timestamp true. So when we pass timestamp true, it will automatically create these two fields, created at and updated at. No need to write here in the two fields in the schema. You can write the created and updated at, but you can write, if you want both the created and updated at, then you can use this. If you want only one field, you can write here also, right? So after this we have to export this, right? But here we can read another important thing, like for the searching for the user we have passed the index. So here also we can pass the index. So here we are passing the user id 1 and created at -1. So why these two parameter we have passed? Suppose when we log in, it show our the, like, this is the created by this user, right? But how it is finding that this is the nodes created by this user id? It will go to our nodes collection. In this it will search for the first user id. So each user id has an index, that index 1. So it will uh, make our searching capabilities more better, right? And here user index, here we have passed 1. So first of all it will find the user. So this is the user, this is the, this two nodes is created by this user, so it will first find this user. We have passed the created -1. -1 means descending order, +1 means ascending order, right? So this is the descending order, right? Created -1. So descending order means it will first show the newest one. So when we create a new, so suppose here we have passed some node, so it will first show the newest one. The oldest one will be in the last, right? So it is showing in the first newest one, because we had passed the, it will -1, right? Created -1, right? and user id is 1, means it will pass this user id. First it will search user id, and this user id all the nodes with this descending order, the newest one first. So this help in searching the, like in our mongodb. So here we can export this. So export default mongoose.model. This model we can export with this type, and the name of model is node. And here we can find pass the parameter, like here we have a node schema. So here we have passed the second parameter node schema, and is the name of the, like, this model, right? Node model. So we have created our node model, right? So let's create our controllers. So we'll start with our controller part. First we'll create our controller for the auth, right? So we'll write the auth controller first. So auth controllers.ts. So auth controller, not controllers, we can write controller only. So we have passed the auth controller.ts, right? Now let's start writing code for the auth controller. So we will import our request and response from the express for the type safety. So request comma response. Then we can import JWT token. So import JWT from JSON web token. So whenever user will log in, we'll create a token to verify that user, right? So we can import the user model that we have created. So import user dot slash model slash user.js ts. So you can write user.js also, no issue. So after that we can import the OTP from util OtpStore.ts, but we have not created OTP. So let's create OTP store.ts. So here we can write the function to generate the OTP, right? So OTP store.ts. So let's write the first code for the OTP store. So we will create the interface for this OTP store. How our OTP store will be OTP data. So OTP type should be string, right? Then email, so to whom we want to send this OTP, right? So this OTP will be connected to a particular email, right? Then expires at, so at what time our OTP will be expired. Then we can write purpose. So purpose, so in this purpose we can write two purpose. So one for the sign up, right, and one purpose for the sign in, right? So for these two purpose we are going to generate the OTP, right? And user data, so we can get the user data from this. So it is optional, we are keeping it as a optional. So date of birth string, right? So After that, this is how our structure of the OTP it will be. So we have defined the interface. Then we can we are using TypeScript, right? So we can create class, right? OTP store. So where we will store our OTP. We'll define a class and it will manage the OTP storage and validation, right? So here in OTP store, we are going to create a private memory store using map to hold the OTP data, right? And it has a key. It will be have a key, right? So that key will be email. So we are going to create a private memory store. So private store, then map we have to map with the string that OTP data, right? And new map. So we are using map to hold the OTP data, right, in our private memory store, right? So after that, we can create a method to generate a 6-digit OTP, right? So how we are going to generate a 6-digit OTP? So we are going to use math.random, right? So we use in like in JavaScript. So we'll write the some JavaScript code here, OTP. So this generate OTP, and OTP will be of type string. We are making our OTP of type string. So generate OTP method, it will generate the 6-digit OTP. So return, so what it will return, see it is giving me recommendation, so I'll take it this recommendation math.floor. So it will make our greatest nearest integer if it is in decimal, right? So this math.random will generate the number between 0 to 1, some decimal. Then we are going to multiply with this 6 digit number, and we are adding with the 6-digit number, so that it should be in 6 digit. And then we are going to make it as a integer, right? Math.floor, and then we are converting that is this number. If it is number, then we are converting to string, because we want our generate OTP type of string, right? So after that, we can create another method to store and return OTP for the different purposes. So store OTP. So what it does, it will take first your email. So where our this OTP will be generated, right? Where it will be stored, right? So for that we can write a method. So first we'll take as a string email of type string purpose. We can write sign up sign up. Then we can write sign in. Then other parameter we can take is as a user data, right? And it is optional. So here we can just write the type any, and it will store of type string, right? Then this store OTP, it will store the OTP in the type string, right? So here we can create a const OTP. So OTP, and this dot generate OTP. So this method we are going to call, and it will generate a 6-digit OTP, right? Then we can set a expire date like 5 minutes. So suppose I want 10 minutes. So we can write here 10 minutes. See here 10 into 16, this is second, this is millisecond, right? So here you can write 10 minutes. So I want to expire the OTP at the 10 minutes. So date dot now and new date object, right? So it will expire at the after 10 minutes. Then we are going to store the OTP data in the map with this email as a key. So this email we are taking as input, right? Whenever the user like it is sign in or sign up, right? So it is taking email, right? So that is unique, right? Your email will be unique. So in that we are going to take it as a key, and there we will store our OTP. So this dot store dot set, then email, then we can write an object, so OTP, then we can store email, then purpose, then expired, then we can write user data, right? So we have stored here. Now after this we can here this dot clean up expired OTP. So we have to clean the expired OTP here and return OTP. So this cleanup expired OTP will write below this method. So before that we can write a method to verify the given OTP for the email purpose, right? Email and purpose. So first I will write if, so we can create a method first, right, to verify the OTP. So verify OTP, and in this method we can take similarly like email as a type of string, right, and OTP as a type of string. Here we are not taking OTP as a type of string because we are here generating, right, and storing our OTP, right, inside of this. But here we have to validate our OTP. So how we are going to validate? So here we are taking email OTP, then we'll check for the purpose also, right? So purpose of tie sign up, then signing, signing, then here it will return a, like boolean, right? So let me write a proper object. It will, so valid, is it valid or not? So we will write boolean and user data any, right? So let me clear up these things. So here in the verify OTP we are taking email as a parameter, OTP that we have stored here, right? Then we are taking the purpose, of what purpose this OTP, it is like sign up or sign in, and it will return a boolean, right? It is true or false, right? So here we can write another const OTP data. So we will get the from this store. Here in the store we are setting the data, here we are getting the data from the email we are using email as a key, right here. So we'll get the first OTP, and let's write the validation here. If not OTP data, what we are going to do? So if not OTP data, will return a valid false, means no OTP data, right? So if OTP data has expired, how we are going to check? If OTP data dot expires at, so if OTP data expired, so this is the OTP data, and in this we have a object, right, expired at, this here we are storing. So expired at is less than the today the present time, right? So then we can, if it is expired, then we can remove this, right? So store dot delete this email, and this is the key, right, where our OTP is stored, and we are returning the valid false, right? Then if the OTP purpose does not match, so if OTP so if OTP purpose does not match, it will return. And if it OTP, like OTP entered by the user and the OTP stored in our private class here, private map, so here if it and the purpose, like suppose you have generated OTP for the sign up and we are writing in sign in, but the purpose does not match, so purpose also should match, so that it should be proper validation. So here we are checking for the both the things, and it is returning false if it is not equal, right? So here after that we can write const user data from the OTP data dot user data. We can take the user data and we can delete the stored email, and we can return the valid true. And so these are the checks that we have to very make it when we are verifying the OTP, right? So after this it will delete after verifying your OTP from the store, and it will return true. So let me write another OTP data. So we have to write this out of this, cut this, right? So here we have to write this, right? Now it is okay. Now let's create this method clean up expired OTP when we are going to expire the OTP. So we are going to separate, like private class clean up expired OTP. This is the method we are going to create, right? Private method, not the class. And here in this it will return a void, and first we will check, will get the today date. If and it is see it is has given recommendation, so const email and OTP data of this store dot entries, we are like from the store that where all the entries, like all the OTP that we have stored, from this we have to get OTP data and the email. If OTP expired means in this OTP data that we stored in the email, right? So in that it will check the expired time. So if it is less than the current time, so it will delete the email. And this email, what this is the key, right? Email where we store our OTP. So like above we are deleting this OTP. So after that we can, so we have created a class, right? OTP store. Now we have to export a instance of that class, right? So that we can use across the app. So we can create a export default new OTP store. So these things we are exporting, right? And here why it is showing OTP cannot find name OTP. So here see we have mistakenly written OPT. So here we have to write OTP, right? So now it is fixed, right? Everything is clear. So you can pause and we can write it. So we have written the code for the OTP store. So here we have successfully written code for the OTP store, right? How our OTP will created, deleted and set to the private, right? Private class. So after that we have to send OTP, right? So we are going to create one more file, send OTP. So this will send this OTP, right? So send OTP dot, so we can Otherwise we can write another name, email services. So not send OTP, we can write email services, right? So we are going to use node mailer. So here we can create email services, email service dot ts. So we are going to use typescript, right? So email service dot ts. So in this we'll write the code. So this code, what it will do, it will get this OTP and send to our email, right? So we are going to write the code for our email services. So email service.ts that we have imported here in our auth controller, right? So let's write the code for that. So first of all we have to import our node mailer. So this package will send the OTP to our mail. So node mailer, then we are going to import .env from .env to get all the like env variable that we have not created it. So let's create a .env variables. Let me close all these things. .env and dot gitignore. So why we are writing .gitignore? So whenever you will push your code to your GitHub, so we don't want to send this .env file to GitHub, so that it should be protected, right? It should not share by the other person, right? And here we can write like, well, let me show you what I want to tell you. Like when we use our node mailer, we need some secret keys that I will show you. So when we use node mailer, so we need like email data. So here suppose this email comes from this email, right? This is the email ID from where I am receiving the OTP on my email, this Becodewala @gmail.com. In this email I am receiving this email from this 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 one, right? So this email is sending the OTP. So we have to go to manage account, your Google account. Then here we have to search for the app password. So here you can see that app password. Click on app password. Then it will ask you for your password to verify it is you or not. So it will just verify. So here you can see that I have created many password for my different app. You can write here app name, and when you click on create, it will just create a password. See, it will create a password, and this password we are going to use here in the SMTP password, right? So here you have to paste your password, and this is the SMTP user. So in SMTP user, so this email we have used, right? This email we have used to create this app password. So we have to write this email, and you can delete it also, right? So here we have to write the email from which we have get that password, right? So that app password and the email, right, from which we have generated that password, right? So you can go and manage your Google account, click on this and search for app password, right, and create a new app, and there you will get your password. So after that you can send OTP to the different emails, right? When the user and multiple user will sign up, right? So you can use this email to send the OTP, right? So this how we can write our .env files, and after that go to the email service.ts, and this .env we are going to use for like get that this env variables, right? So we are going to use this package .env, right? So after that we can create a class similarly like we have created for the OTP. We can create a class for the email service, right? Now in this email service class we are going to create our variable, a private variable transporter node mailer dot transporter. So this is the variable, that private transporter variable for the node mailer we are going to create. So after that we are going to create a constructor to initialize our transporter with the smtp config. So smtp config we are going to write for our node mailer, right? So constructor, so we are going to initialize, so this dot transporter. So see this dot transporter, so this private variable, right? We have to initialize with our smtp configuration. So in this configuration we are going to use this env data like some password or some user email like so you write your email and password here, that I told you how to get this password and the email. This password should be a password, not your like the password of your email. This should be a password that we have generated right here, right? This is the app password that we have to use, right? That I told you. Now here we have to configure, right? So we how the node mailer will send email. So we have to first configure our node mailer, right? So here we are going to use node mailer dot create transport. So it will send the OTP with this configuration like host email host. So this is the smtp host, so write the correct one. So write smtp host, not the email host, right? So here write the smtp, not the email, smtp, right? So smtp port, right? And then here we are using the smtp host, and we can add an optional, right? If it not provided by the like your env, then you can write a optional one also. And here we are providing type number, so port should be number, right? So we can use parse int also, so it will like make your, if you are using string it will make it in number, right? So you can use parse int also, so and the number also. So it depend on you. So if you are using like optional like 587 587, so that time you can use the like parse int, so it will convert that string to the number, right? So after that here we are checking for the smtp secure, right? So here it true for 465, false for other ports, right? So we are using these ports, right? So we can make it like here smtp secure equal to false. So no need to write this line of code, secure false. So you can write just false. And after that we have to check for the auth. So host port secure and auth. So in this is the main thing, the user and the password, that you have to not write like this. We have to write in our env, so that it should get from this file only. So your secret password and the email should be like protected. So we have configure, right, our node mailer, right? After that, let's go for the another method. So how we are going to send OTP, right? So to send OTP, we can create a async send OTP method, and this will receive like email, OTP purpose, right? So like in our OTP store we have used, right? So is the like for storing, for verifying, right? We are taking the parameter. So we are taking email, OTP purpose, right? Then this will return a promise that your OTP has been sent, right? Promise. So this will return a promise that your OTP will be sent. We are using async await, right? So it will return a promise. Then we have to set the subject line based on the purpose. So how we are going to set the subject? Suppose if your purpose equal to sign up, then it will say welcome to SD Notes, verify your email. Otherwise, if you are signing, then it will give this subject message, right? SD Notes sign in verification. So you can go and see, like here, go back, see SD Notes sign in verification, right? And when I sign up for the first time, it show like welcome to SD Notes, verify your email, right? You can see that. And this is for the sign in subject. So you are passing the subject. So whenever you send an email, you pass a subject and to whom you want to send, right? And then the like body data, right? So we are going to see all these things, right? So similarly we are writing in our node mailer. So here we have created our subject, right? After that, we can create a HTML content for the email. So HTML content means like when we click on this, so it has a title, right? Heading, then here one more sign into HD notes, then here a paragraph your verification code is, and then we have some padding space, right? And then it is showing my OTP number, right? OTP digit, and then here is a message paragraph, right? This OTP will expire in this, and here base regards HD notes team. So how we are going to create this template? So we are going to use HTML, right, for this. So I've already written, so I'll just copy paste and show you. So it is very simple. So here what I am going to do, so let me show you where it is. Yes, inside of this. So here we are going to create a HTML, constant HTML. In this is the simple HTML. You can run this HTML, right? You can run this HTML in your create your HTML file. You can run this line of code. So here see doc type HTML tag head. Then here we are in the title, we are setting the subject, right? Then the subject come from this two option purpose, right? Then the body, in the body we are setting padding, margin, logo, like OTP code, footer, like how much the padding and margin should be there, right? So we define the classes, right? Then in the body we have used the tag, right? Like we write in HTML. So you can see that we have created a HD notes class, right? Purpose sign up, right? And here we can write verification code, right? And we have a style also. If you don't want to style, you can remove this style tag, right? And you can see that the base regard ht node sim. So this all this come from the HTML. This is the simple HTML we have to write. So how you want to show this UI, right? And this OTP is come from this that the user has like the node mailer has sent it, right, that generated, right, and purpose, right, here we have written the purpose also. So this is the heading on the top, you can see that, see heading, and your verification code is this, your verification code is, right. So this is the simple HTML. So how you want to show the user this email, right, so this how user will receive the email. Then after that we have to send the OTP, right. So how we are going to send the OTP? So await transporter this dot transporter, right, now transporter this dot transporter, and this dot transporter means this private, that private variable that we have created, dot send email, so it will send email. So this is the send email comes from our node mailer, right. So it will send the email to whom we want to send. So from smtp user, so I'll just show you. So from hd nodes and this user, right, from this user I want to send email. So this is the email of the hd nodes, right, this is the email of the hd nodes. So this user want to send email, right, from this email I want to show the, so like send the OTP, right, to which, to email. So this is the email, is the user email that entered by the user while sign up and sign in. Then we can write the subject. So at what subject you want to send, like we have created above, right, like you are using for the sign in or sign up, right. So and html, so this is the html that we have written, right. So this is the body tag. So this is the html that we have to send, right, to this entered email, right, to the user. This is the which user is signing, and this is the email of the hd nodes, that website user, right, that who created this application, right. Now we have created this class, right. Now we have to create a instance of that email service, right, so that we can use it. So we can export email service, new email service. So why it is showing export default unexpected token, let me fix it. Unexpected token, so I think curly braces is missing, yes. So and one more here, okay. So we have fixed it, we can format the document. So you can see that we have written the code for our email sending, right, and this OTP comes from our this this OTP, that 6 digits we are sending to the email, is come from the OTP store, right. So that's why we have created the classes, right. So we are going to use this both of these things in our like auth controller. Where is our auth controller? So here we have to write our auth controller. So when the user will sign in or sign up, it will send the OTP, this OTP, by using this email service called node mailer, right. So let's continue writing our auth controller. So in this we will first create our generate token. So this generate token function, it will generate the token when the user will log in. So it will take the user ID as a string and it will return a string. So with the user ID and the JWT secret we are going to generate the token. So return JWT dot sign, and in this we are going to use user ID. So this is the user ID come from the mongodb database, and then we want to use process.tnb.jwt secret. So this jwt secret comes from our env file. So you can create a jwt secret in our .env file. So this secret need to write here, and it will be used to generate the token and decode the token. Like suppose you have written the secret on like Becodewala. So this is the secret token we are going to use, and here we have first pass the user id, then we are using the jwt secret, and then we can set the expire time. So expire, so when I want to expire our jwt token, so you can write 7 days or other days also, so no worries. So we have written the function to generate our token, right? So now we can write our send sign up OTP, right? So first of all, like when the user will sign up for the first time, like Kodwala, and it will fill the name and the date and the email, right? So when it will click on get OTP, the OTP will be sent to the user email, right? So here we'll create a controller const sign up send sign up OTP. So when we are signing for the first time, we are first sending the OTP, right? So send sign up OTP, and in this we are going to get the request and response, right? So of type request and response, this come from the express, right? And that we imported above, right? And after that we have to take the we have to use first try and catch block for the error. So here internal server error and error in sending OTP, you can add in the error, right? And here now we can take the input from the user. So from the request body we can take the email. So not email, email or full name, email, email, full name and date of birth. So wait, so first we have to take the name, email, full name, right? Full name, email and date of birth from the user. Then we have to check if not email, full name. So if user has not written the email, full name and date of birth, if it is empty, you can write here all fields are required, right? You can send the message, right? So after that we can write to generate OTP. So generate and store OTP. How we are going to generate and restore OTP? So before that we have to check that again if user has already existed in our database, right? And if user want to sign up again, so how we are going to validate that? So we have to validate that also, right? How we are going to check the user has, if check if user has already exist, so how we are going to check? So we are going to write const existing user, right? So first let me remove this existing user equal to await user. This is the user model. In this our user from the user database, right? We have to find that user, find one with the email and email to lowercase. So whatever the email we received as an input, right here we convert it to the lowercase, and then we will verify in our database if existing user, right? So if existing user, then we'll send a message, right? Rest dot status, right? 400, right? Dot json user has already exist and return nothing. So suppose codewala @gmail.com, and let me select the correct date. So if I see, age should be 13 years, right? So I'll select the age. So when I click on generate OTP, email already exists. See this message, right? So this how we can validate the our user entered data, right? So after that we can generate OTP. So const OTP equal to, so how we are going to generate OTP. So we have already created this file, right? So this file, in this file we have written all the code to generate OTP. So OTP store that we have imported, right? This is the OTP store that we have imported, dot store OTP. So when the user will sign up for the first time, then we will store OTP to that user entered email, right? So here we are storing OTP to the user entered email, and we are checking for the purpose and the like user data if it is there, right? So here we will write first the email to which email we want to like store the OTP. So first of all we want to store OTP to this email, right? And to lowercase. So email should be in the lowercase, and here we are using for the sign up, right? When the user is signing for the first time, the purpose we have defined sign up. So same thing we are passing as a here parameter, right? Now we are passing as a argument, right? Then here we are passing a full name and date of birth in the object, like user data is an object, right? Here that we define here. After that, suppose we have generated the OTP for this user email that try to sign up, right? Then we have to send this email like OTP to the user email. So this is the user email that user has entered, so we have to send to that. So await email service. So this email service that we imported, what this service does is send OTP, right? So and in this we have created a like method that send the OTP. So email service dot send OTP, and to which we want to say this email. So we are passing three parameters, right? Email and the OTP that we have generated and the purpose. So email, OTP and the purpose is sign up. So this this will send the OTP to the email that the user has entered, right? Then OTP will be sent. Then we can send a message that OTP has successfully sent. So OTP will be sent to our email when the user will sign up, right? So let me give another email, right? So we can write, so suppose I want to sign up for this email, right? So it will send the OTP. See, OTP has successfully sent, and it is asking for the OTP, right? So let's go for the next step. So next step we have to verify the OTP, right? First we have entered all the details and we have sent OTP. Now we have to verify OTP. So we have on this page to verify the OTP, and we have a recent OTP also, so that it will send the again the OTP if OTP has not received, right? Or OTP has expired, so it will send again. So how we are going to verify the OTP, right? So Let's write the controller for that also. Export const verify sign of OTP, right? And in this we are taking request response as we have taken before, then try catch block, and here we can write error in verifying. If any error is there, we can write it verifying sign up OTP in or internal server error, right? So here first of all we have to take the email and OTP, two things. So the OTP will be attached to this particular email, right? So that email, right? So so let me refresh it. So we have not signed up to the that email that we have entered, so we have to verify here, then the user will sign up in our database. So we have to take the email, right? First we'll take the email from the request body, const email and OTP. So here the email, this is the from the request body, from the front end it will be sending, and the OTP also from the front end, right? So after taking the email OTP, we have to suppose if not email and OTP. So if not email and OTP, we can write email OTP are required, right? So when I try to sign up, see OTP is required, right? So here we can write another. So let me remove all these things. So we, if not email or OTP, we can write like email OTP are required, and we can send the 400. So it is, this is the why we are using from 400. This is the because this error should be from the front end, right? That's why we are writing 400. So const, now we have to verify OTP. So OTP result equal to, then in this how we are going to verify. So in OTP verification we have written this line of code in this method, then here we are receiving email OTP and purpose, right? And it return a boolean, right? So here we can write OTP store verify. So email we are taking as a argument, then here the OTP and the sign up is a purpose. Then if OTP does not valid, it will like send an OTP invalid or expired, right? So in OTP store we are sending the valid, true and false, right? If OTP purpose and data does not meet. So here also we can write the check, right? So suppose I want to type, I have written some random OTP. So see it will say invalid OTP or expired, right? So this is the check for this point of time. Now if OTP has verified, so what we want to do? So we want to create the user, right? So user equal to new user. I want to create a new user model, right? In the model I want to create a new user, so with the full name OTP result. So this full name comes from that here while sign up we stored our like whatever the user has full name and date of birth that enter, right? That in the OTP we have stored right in our private class. From that we are going to take the full name, then from that only I want to take like email, and from that only I want to take my date of birth from OTP results, right? And this email is the this email that we taken from the request body while verifying, right? Then we have created, but we have to save also, right? So await user.save. So we have saved our user to our database. So let me verify the OTP here first. So this is the OTP that we need to verify. So I'll copy and paste the OTP. See, the account created successfully message, right? And OTP has verified. So we have and if we go to our database, refresh it, so now we can see that the email has been registered, right? So after that, when the user had signed up, then it has a token also, right? Let me show you. So here in the cookies we have a token, right? This is the token. So this is the token that I want to show you. So this is the token that stored in our cookies. So how we are going to set the this token? This is the JWT token. So whenever user will create some task, right? So this user will verify with this token. If I remove this token, the task will be not be created, right? So let me add the cookies when the user has signed up, right? So how to set the like cookie? So const token. So this token is generated from the generate token. So this is the function that we have written above to generate the token, right? So this take the user id from the database. So this is the user id from the database. You can see that with this user id and this user id, and we can write two string. So what is showing user.id of type unknown, right? So we have fixed. So let me first write, then we'll fix it later. So after generating the token with the user id and the jwt secret, that here we have used that function, right? We have to save that token to the cookie, right? So how we are going to save? Rest dot cookie. Here we have to pass two things. First we will pass the name. So here, to with which name our cookie token will be stored. So with this jwt token with stored with this name token, right? So that's why we are going to write name token here, right? Then we can pass the token. So this is the token that we have generated using jwt, right? We have passed that token, right? Then we can pass other configuration like http only true, same site lags, and like .env production, then that time it will be secure, and max is 7 days. That 7 days already we have set it here, so you can remove it also. So no need to set the here the token expiration, right? But if you want, you can set it. So after that, we can send a message that account created successfully, right? The message has been shown when we created here, right? So how we are going to send that message? So here we can write race dot status 200 200 dot json. So we are going to pass the json data, and in this we have to send message. What message we want to send? Account created successfully, and we can pass the user data, right? So this user data we want to pass like id equal to user.id, not to string. Here we can write just user.id, and here we have passed like full name, email, and date of birth we can send. But here it is showing two string, so this two string is giving me error. So here you can see that when we are like send sign up OTP, right? We have not written, right, the type. We have not written the type promise. So this is a async, right? We are using async, so it will return a promise. So he can write void, right? And for other, like where is yours? So for this also we can write promise void, right? And here you can see that the return error, right? So we will fix it now. So if first we'll fix from the above. So here first we'll sign up with the OTP. If no email and all, so here we can write this on the top and return nothing, right? And yeah, it is correct. Then we can move this also up because we are returning a promise, right? So we can't return this, so we have to move this up. So because here we are returning a promise void, and here it is showing two string error, right? So this user id error two string will fix it later. So no worries, this is the type error, it will work correctly. So we will fix it this later. So now let's write code for the send sign in OTP. So this we have seen for our, like, so see, when we log out, the that token has removed, right? The token has removed. Can remove this also. So here for the sign in, it is asking email and then it will generate OTP. So let's write controller for that. Export const send sign in or sign in OTP, and this will return a promise with the request and response. And we can write try catch, and we can write the error in sending OTP, right? So here we can write, first of all we have to take the email from the request body. So first of all user will enter the email here, then if not email, then we can write email is required, right? And check if user exists. So suppose user has not signed up in our database, only this four user had signed up in a database, and other user want to write like b at the rate gmail.com, try to sign up, right? So it will say no account found with this email, right? So we have to handle this also. So we have to check. So first of all we have to find the user, const user equal to await user dot find one with the email. So this email that we have entered, right, with this email it will check in our database. So this is the user model, right, that we created in our database. If not user, it will say user not found, right? So here we can cite user not found, no account found with this email. So we can write this message also, right, user not found, or we can write no account found with this email, right? Then suppose if user has found, then we have to send the OTP, right? So const, so first we will store the OTP. So OTP store dot store OTP, that method we have created in our OTP store, and we have passed these two parameter, right, while sending. So here we need email, right, and the purpose. So this is optional, that's why we use optional, because we are not signing, we are sign up, right? So we can use the same method, right, same method for sign in also. That's why we pass the user data as optional here, because this user data we need in our sign up, not in sign in, right? That's why we use as a optional. And here we are taking this as a argument email and sign in purpose, right? So it will store the OTP, right? This OTP store. So it will generate the OTP and store also this generate OTP function that we have called here, and it will store in our private class, and after that our node mailer will send this OTP. So email services that we have created, right? So this will send OTP to the entered email, and here we have passed the purpose as sign in, right? And OTP will be sent to the email, right? Then after that we can write the response sign up OTP sent successfully, right? And here is the handle error. Then let's do for that. So here we can write Becodewala at gmail.com. So I try to sign up, right? So OTP has been successfully check your email, right? So OTP has sent to this email, right? We have received right now, and we have to enter this OTP here, and we have to verify. So when we verify, see token has been created, signing successfully message, and we receive the previous notes that we have created, right? So after that we have to write the code for the verify, right? Here we have written for the sending, right? OTP when the user will sign up. Now the the second step that we have verify OTP, right? So we have to verify OTP. So export const verify OTP sign in OTP, and here we are similarly we are receiving request and response from the user returning promise, and here we'll say get the email and OTP, right? Two things when we are signing, right? So we are verifying our with the OTP and the email. So here we are checking if not email OTP, will say this message email OTP is required. Then we have to verify the OTP. So this method verify OTP that we have created in our OTP store. So here this verify OTP, it take the email and OTP as a, and the sign up. So this is the purpose. So where is it? So this is the email OTP and the purpose. With this it will verify, it will match the OTP. If OTP match, if it is valid, if it is not valid, we can send the invalid or expired OTP. If it is valid, then it will first here, and it is checking here also for the like user is in the database. Now here also we have checked for the user, so you can write here also. So it increases your security in your like database. So after that if user exists, it will generate the token, right? So here we have find the like user. If user not found, we can generate the token here, right? So user with the user ID, right? So generate token. So when user is signing, see the token has been generated, and we have to after generated token we have to set to our cookies. So rest dot cookies we have to set to our cookies, right? Here you can see that we have set to our cookie localhost 5173, you can see that. And after that here we have to set the expiration if you want, and here we can write the status, right? That sign in successful message, and the in the response we can send the user full name, email, date of birth, and all this data comes from our mongodb database, right? So we have successfully verified our OTP. Now we have to write for the logout. So when we'll click in on logout, it is asking are you sure want to log out, and the token will be removed, right? So to write the controller for that, write const export const like log out, then it will not return a promise here because it is just logging out. So how it will login out, we have to clear this cookie, right? So here for the logout we can write res dot clear cookie, and here we have passed the token. So this token with this name, our the token has stored, this is the name, see the name token. So we have to clear that. When you will clear, it will automatically will log out. So we can send the response log out successfully. So click on this and it will log out successfully. See, the cookie has been removed, right? Log out successfully. So this how we have log out and log in. Now we have to get the profile, right? So whenever user is sign in, right, codewala@gmail.com. So OTP has been sent. Let's verify. So we have verified, and when we verify, we get the profile data, right? This name and email, right, on the top. So we are going to write the get profile function to get the user data like full name, email, right, date of birth, and all these things. So how we are going to get the profile? So to get the profile, we have to write the controller for that. Similarly, export const get profile async. So async, in this we have to pass our request response and it will return a promise, and here we have to use try catch and either in fetching profile or, so we have handled the error in the try catch. Then first, how we are going to get the profile? First we'll set get that token is present in our cookies or not. So request dot cookies dot token. So first we'll get the cookies from the front end, right? Then if we can write the validation if not token, right? If it not token or not in request header, so we can validate for those both request header dot authorization. So if it is token is not present in headers also and in token also, this in the cookies, then we can write like unauthorized, right? So so before that we can write another if condition if not token and request dot authorization. Then in this we can write the const auth header from the request, and if start with the bearer, so in the bearer also we write our write token, right? So in this we have to split that. It will split into two arrays, right? Two array string. The second one will be the on the like first index, not the zeroth index. So we have to get that. So there also we can store the token, right? The authorization header from our front end, right? In the network you can go and check like all the nodes here. Let me see. So in the cookie, see we have in the authorize request header, this is the request header. So we have written the validation for the cookie, and we have to check for the JWT secret. So we have to write the code for the JWT secret. So if no JWT secret will present JWT secret is not defined and configure error. So with this JWT token we have to get the user information by decoding that user, right? So in this token our user data is present in this token. So we have to decode this token and we have to get the user information. So how we are going to decode? Const decode code equal to jwt dot verify. This will verify with the this token. If we have token with the jwt secret, it will decode and as user id as a string, right? So after getting the user id from this like it will decode, it will get the user id. So while we are generating token, we are taking the user id as a string, right? So this is the first parameter we are taking as user id to generate the token. So to decode the token also we need the user id, right? So this user id will be like generated when the it will verify with the token and JWT secret. So it will give me the like user id, and user id will contain the user information, right? So const user id equal to decode user id. So in this decode our user value will be present, right? And after that, if we can write like we can find the user in our database, right? So that we can get the profile with the user id. Const user equal to await dot user dot find. So in the user model we have to find the with by id we are finding the user. So this user id come from the by decoding our token with the JWT secret, and it will not select the like hyphen. So password we are not including the password, so you can remove it because we are using OTP verification. We can just write hyphen under underscore v, right? So here after that we can write if not user, suppose it is searching for the user but user is not found, we can write user not found message here, right? And after that if user is found we can give the response like user has found. So I'll just write the response here 200 that user has found. We have get the profile of that user, and we have to send the response like id, full name, email and date of birth. So you can see that the user on the top, right? So whenever we need user profile we can create a user profile route also, so that we can get the user information and we can manage the user profile also, like we have done in our to do application. So here is the to do one. So here we have added our profile, right? Profile route where we got the user profile data. So here on the neighbor we are showing the user profile data from which. So this is the controller that show the user profile data. It will get the profile and so on the UI, right? So next we will see like nodes controller, and we have to like create the nodes, right, with the authenticated user. So who can create the node? Who is authenticated? So at each point the middleware we are going to use. So we will see in the next part. We'll complete the all the remaining code in the next part of the tutorial. So this is the first part of our backend nodes application using MERN stack. So we'll meet in next video, and you can get the source code on my github. You can follow and give a star. So thanks for watching. We'll meet in next video.